Welcome back to day 16 trade recap for the back testing. We had a beautiful, beautiful month from December 2022 to January. I just finished back testing all of that, and yeah, let's get straight into it. So, first trade we took, I think we avoided this. Not sure if this was day 15, but anyways, we require a breaker, but in this case it wasn't respected, right? All right, we traded through here and then we disrespected the breaker right here, so I don't take the trade. And we successfully avoided it. All right, trade number this, we took a dub. So what has happened here? All-time highs, I'm framing a reversal. We got the unicorn model right here, breaker respected, FEG. We have the RDRB, which I entered. I didn't wait for the respect because we had the unicorn. So I entered here. I put my stop loss actually above the FEG because as we know it, Bitcoin, crypto loves to wick us out. Next trade, we took another dub. I'm framing another reversal. Yep, framing another reversal, targeting this right here. The bottom of it, I don't know why this showed here, but this is the actual one. Targeting the bottom of it, we have the FEG respected, the breaker respected, the RDRB being respected, so I placed a limit on the bottom portion of that, anticipating that, okay, we will probably re-tap into it and then go down. So these right here are the breakaway gaps. I put my stop loss above this intermediate term high, just in case. I mean, you could put it above here because it's not really, I feel like crypto, you just gotta be extra careful. But this was still a good 2.4. I think we move it down, it might hit 3 or, but I'll take it, take the dub. Next trade, what has happened? Okay, we avoided this. Why did we avoid this? The breaker was disrespected. Yep, traded through here, disrespected here, so I don't look to trade it. And in this case, we avoided it. So, here. Now, next trade, what happened here? Okay, we missed it. See, we traded through it here, but we disrespected here. So I wasn't looking to enter. Remember, these are the mitigation gaps. Why? Because they don't sweep the low of the previous candle. Or mitigation. So this is the failed order block that we look at. Which we failed in this case, but I mean, we could use the mitigation here and then it tap into it, but this would overlap the FEG as well, so you know, you gotta weigh the pros and cons, but I didn't take this trade. So we let me see. Yep. Next trade, what happened here? We missed another trade. Okay, so my original consolidation was here. Distribution 1, distribution 2, smart money reversal. My thing was, okay, we at least bounce into the breaker using these as inducements and then tapping into this FEG. But remember, day 8, I mentioned that if we either sweep the consolidation or like price consolidates up for some period of time, this isn't our low risk buy. You know what I mean? Like, technically, this would have been the low risk buy, but it didn't align with the breaker. So I didn't take it. You could use the mitigation, these mitigations right here, which I know there's multiple breakers. Maybe I could have got this. This is the breaker. You could say this is the breaker. But is there a difference between using the most recent breaker versus just a regular breaker? I use the most recent breaker because that's sort of like, this is the order block that led to the sweep, pretty much. Oh, actually, hold on. Technically, this is the breaker. Yeah, this is the breaker. Because actually, this led to the sweep. This was a sweep. Well, actually, technically, let me zoom in on this. Technically, this right here is the breaker. Because this was the order block that led to the sweep of liquidity. So, technically, it should have been here, but we never retraced into it. Let me do this. Technically, okay, technically, the breaker should be the failed bearish order that led to sweep of liquidity. So I drew the breaker wrong here. But that's fine since price never retraced. Okay. Next trade, what happened? We took a dub. Why did we take a dub? Still framing a reversal. Still framing a reversal, yep. So we don't trade through the breaker until here. No, that's fine. We don't trade through the breaker until here. But isn't this the opposite of the consolidation I mentioned? Actually, no. The breaker, we gotta disprove the breaker. So this is the breaker right here. Yep. We swept the low. So this would technically be the bullish order block, but we failed because we closed through it. Yep. Okay. So here, what has happened? We got the unicorn. We got FEG above. I entered off of this FEG. I put my stop loss above the breaker because crypto likes to wick us out. In this case, I believe it did. Yeah, it did because it cleared the previous one, but luckily we put it above, so we were fine. We hit 2.8. I think I was on a win streak with this, but okay. Next trade, what's happened? Looking to frame a long. Ah, that's what it is. Okay, so we just got the reversal. We just swept all of this. This wick is very tailing to me that we don't want to push down lower. At least not before maybe some taps of these FEGs. So we have the tap of this demand zone, the tap of this 1 hour FEG being respected. So I zoomed in, looked to take a trade off of that. So we don't trade through the breaker until right here, right? So I didn't look for a trade through all of this because it could just be maybe they want to fake us out again. But so in here, this is the zoomed in part right here. With that, let's see. Okay, we got unicorn right here, aligning with the FEG right here. Okay, look, in this case, if we put our stop loss directly below this, we would have got stopped out. So, no RDRB, wider stop loss. Yes, that's correct. I put it right here because I couldn't find an RDRB just in case because I know crypto loves to look this out. If you do maybe NASDAQ, you probably could get away with putting it maybe below this one right here in case. But that's what it is. We took a dub off of that. 2.6. Next trade, what has happened here? Okay. Okay, so like I said, I didn't look to take a trade throughout this because it was either, okay, maybe we tap into this or we sweep this, right? I'm not really interested in here because there's no like supply zone, there's no FEG until we tap into here. That's what I looked at, right? Yep. Zoomed out. Original consolidation here. Accumulation 1, accumulation 2. Smart money reversal. Look to enter for that. FEG respected. Okay, okay. FEG and breaker block overlap, but there was no RDRB right here. I couldn't find one. So I put my stop loss actually above this one right here, which you could put it above this breaker, to be honest. Yeah, above the breaker, but I just decided to put it a little bit into the FEG in case I mean the inverse FVG in case we tap into like a little bit. So that's where I entered. Took a dub, nice dub. Price went lower too. So next trade, what's happened? Okay, framing a bullish continuation up to target all-time highs. That's my thing for this. Oh, we took a dub on this. Okay. So original consolidation here, distribution one, distribution one, distribution two, smart money reversal up. Okay. Remember the breaker. Okay, you might ask, hold on. You might ask, why not? Why didn't I look for an entry here? Because we didn't respect the breaker. We didn't trade through it. Now, of course, there's pros and cons of this, like you might miss trades, etc. But you know, that's what it is. Okay, so we took the dub. We respected a breaker, inverse, and FEG with this wick right here. This wick right here. We almost got wicked out, but I put it above this bearish FEG, which also aligned with this. You know, you maybe you could put the 50%, but then again, it was like it was below the breaker, and I was like, do we really wick this out again? Because that'd be a crazy wick. But I just put it here. We took a 3R before reversing down. All right, look at this. Before reversing down and then going up again. So, you know, if you were to put it up here, probably wouldn't get it. All right. I missed this trade. Why I missed this trade? Oh, uh, oh, we didn't respect the breaker. Okay, I missed that trade. What happened here? We failed this trade. Why did we fail this trade? Okay, I was framing a reversal down because this would have been the all-time high. 1 hour FEG, right? Some FEG. Yep. Inside of here, is this one out? Yeah, should be. Right here. Yeah. Okay, so that's why I framed it. What did we have? We had a FEG, a breaker, and RDRB. However, this kind of doesn't look like the low risk sell. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't look like the low risk sell. Because see this consolidation, like technically, if we bounce up to here, this would have been the low risk. But I let it slide because we didn't tap into the breaker. All right, we traded through here. We didn't respect it until here. I had the RDRB too, so my thing was okay. If we trade above this breaker into this FEG, like, and we disrespect it, hit my stop loss, we might just go up for all-time highs. That's my thing with that. We took the L. It's normal. Take the L. All right, next trade. Okay, we took a dub. Okay, this is exactly off of the other one, which we swept it. Looked to frame a reversal down. Yep, off of that. Yep. Okay, original consolidation here. My take profits are here. You could argue this is accumulation. This is accumulation. Smart money reversal. Yeah, this is the leg. That's right. That's right. Yeah, this is the leg. This is the low risk sell right here. So zoomed in, we had okay. We technically tapped into the FVG and breaker right here, but why did I not take that trade, right? I could put my stop loss above here, entry here, target lower, because this is supposed to say short-term low. So we didn't have a minor change of character until here. So I didn't consider this a strong respect of a PD array. Even though we did tap into it and we did reject it, I was waiting for a short-term low to be closed below, which did not happen until here. So in here, that's when, okay, we have the breaker overlapping with the FVG. as well as this RDRB being respected. However, I didn't wait for the respect. Yep, I didn't wait for the respect of the RDRB. I just set my entry limit on there because my thing was okay. We probably tap it. We'll probably tap it. If I waited for the respect, my entry would be probably at below this FEG right here. But I put my stop loss above all of this, which was also above the breaker, just in case, just in case. In this case, 2.5R, it went down lower. Happy with that. Next one, what happened this? Miss slash avoid. Okay, why? What did we? Okay, okay, here. So I was looking, okay, we swept all of this with this little wick. Let's go up, at least to here. What has happened? Okay, the breaker, we have that here. Okay, I got it. So in here, this would be the low risk buy. But in this case, I waited for this and I set my entry at the top of this FEG, but we never retraced it. And I saw that price cleared this FEG, or at least tapped into it again. And remember, day 8, I went 0 for 3. Oh yeah, I would have took a loss here because it would have went lower. And that rule helps me avoid these losses. So, yeah, because of this consolidation, this would have been the low risk buy, but we missed it. If we were to enter, I believe I still would have failed this trade because I would put my stop loss here. But we failed it. Yeah, because then my thing was we already tapped into this. We could definitely disrespect that bearish FEG. But in this case, it didn't happen. I didn't get the entry. Oh yeah. Or maybe I would have just said, based on the risk reward, the 50% of this, which we would have hit. Not sure what I would do live, but in this case, it's backtest. Miss slash avoided. All right, next trade. Okay, we missed this trade. Oh yeah, no breaker block retracement. Never retrace back into this, so I didn't enter. Next one. Okay, I'm framing a reversal. Yes. Based off of this, I want to target this 1 hour FEG. That's my draw on liquidity, or this previous week low. So in here, you could argue this is the original consolidation, but at the same time, it's the low that broke the high, right? The low that broke the high, right? All these highs. You could say that this is accumulation 1, accumulation 2, accumulation 3, smart money reversal. Okay, we have the breaker. We respect the breaker. Yep, trade through it. Respect here. But this one overlapped with an FEG, so I treated that as my intermediate term low, but I still put it above the breaker. We didn't have an RDRB, so, but we took the dub. That's how it is. Take the dub. This one we avoided. Why did we avoid this? I was framing along. Okay, but we didn't respect it. Okay, so it's not trade. But we successfully avoided it, right? Unless maybe take profit was here, but depends on the trader. Okay, I think this is the last trade. Okay, this is the last trade. Last trade, January 2nd. We did a year's worth of Bitcoin manually testing for the past 16 days, which is very good. Proud of myself. So my draw on liquidity is this. All right. Ideally, we tap into here, go down, sweep that. but I missed / avoided this because we didn't have two overlapping confluences. I zoomed in on here to see if it tapped in. It was equal highs to the FVG, so it didn't tap into the FVG, right? Because this one created the FVG, right? This 3 candle sequence created it. This didn't tap into it. Didn't enter. If I were to enter, like you could say like, clear this. It depends on you. But all right, day 16. That's it. I'm done with backtesting. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm gonna record a results after this. So what we learned for day 16, if there's no RDRB, have a wider stop loss because it doesn't automatically veto our trade. All right. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. See you guys.